Good day, strategy gamers, and welcome back to episode 53 of our Let's Play series, Stalingrad to Berlin, War in the East 2. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the second half of turn 28, our ground combat operations from Mariol down to the south of the map in the Crimea. We'll then take a look at new units that we may want to produce, units we may want to call up from the reserves, and time allotting. I think we'll do a little bit of a check on where our supply depots are, where our HQs are, and just a little bit of cleanup stuff to review, I think, if we have an opportunity to do so. So, with that, let's dive right in. We left off in these hexes here around Ariol. We now continue our way south to see, okay, where are we going to continue pressing our advance? Obviously, Kursk is a target that is getting closer and closer in terms of our ability to reach it. We had tried to break through some of these areas in previous turns, and as a matter of fact, we even had some units like this Rifle Brigade as an example that were beaten back in counterattacks, a little beat up, and we can now take them off of refit and bring them forward, I think. So let's go ahead and bring them up. We'll also bring up this Rifle Brigade with them. And I think we're going to take both of these stacks and have them push through to try to break out to Kursk. And we were successful, so that is good. I don't think we're going to advance forward though this turn, as fatigue remains high on these units, and we'll do a couple more turns of that until we finally do break through to Kursk. I think the pressure that we put on them in the north here is also really going to help. Looking a little further down here, yeah. See, so we have a couple of very strong stacks here. The question is, how do we best leverage them to push through? I think what we might do is take this stack and have them attack. Alright, so they retreated. And I think we move this stack forward. I think we attempt to attack through here. Yep, so that was successful. Now what I'm going to do... Yeah, we're just going to keep attacking where they're weak, I guess. I was thinking about maybe relocating this unit over to the west, but I think this is kind of sufficient. The tank corps that we have does have enough to move forward a little bit, but I don't know that I want to put it at risk, especially again since its fatigue jumped up to 63. So what I might actually do is I might take that tank unit, and I think I'm going to have it pull back, since it has the movement points to do so, so then it can spend a turn, maybe even two, off of the front line, lowering fatigue and building combat preparation. I think that's what we'll do there. Now we do find ourselves a little bit weak here, defense value 2 against 6 that they have. So maybe we can take this rifle division down. So now it's 5. So they're not going to be able to break through that unless they bring up other units from the rear. And again, I think their focus is going to be reestablishing the front line to try to prevent us from getting to Kursk. Although ultimately I am expecting them to kind of pull back and try to build a second pocket. But we'll see what they do end up doing. And I think it's going to be really helpful to get Kursk, but it's not necessarily something that is a huge priority for me, and has not been for much of the game. Our priorities, again, cut them off at Riga, try to reach down and race to Odessa via the Crimea, which was successful. We raced to Rostov and successfully captured that and are now marching on Stalino. Those have really kind of been some of the objectives. I would much rather devote more resources towards, say, Minsk than to continue trying to get Kursk. I know it has a number of victory points associated to it, but yeah, and I actually think we're already a bit behind the historical capture date. That's on that info. So let's see. Soviets took it back, yeah, February of 43. So we are already 3 months behind schedule on that, which means the German player, the Axis player, is probably getting some benefit from that. Same with Kharkov. But regardless, we will stick with our plan and we will see if it works for us. I think that's just what we're going to have to do. Down here, we may have some opportunities to push through, but I'm looking at some of these units. Like here, 6,000 men, 43 fatigue. Just, I'm not terribly happy with the status of some of these units, right? So I think what I might actually do is pull back each of these 2 rifle divisions. I'm going to set them both to refit. I don't think we're at any risk of a counterattack here. And yeah, the rifle corps and the rifle division should be plenty to hold that line. Because pushing through right now, we don't have too much on the table to gain, so we're going to give it a moment to see what we can get in terms of refitting and resting these guys. Over here, as we continue looking, we see that we've actually got some units in the rear that have been on refit that now look like they're starting to be back to their usual self. So we'll probably end up yeah, we're going to take these guys off refit and get them up to the front line. Which is good news. Good to see. So, question though is where? And obviously we've got this bit of a spearhead going up here. I think what we will do is take this stack forward. Okay. So that gives us 14 versus their 7. Let's now take these tank corps forward. And what if we have all of them attack? That's 18 to 7. Let's do it. Alright, so we pushed them through, and perhaps most importantly, the hex that they had fortification level of 3, they have now lost. Back here we have a number of units that need to catch up to the front line, which is fine. So I think I'm going to bring this stack forward. And I'm going to have them immediately attack here to continue breaking through. So we routed that Luftwaffe division. This stack can move forward. This brigade and rifle corps. There we go. Let's have, oh, got rail repair in there. Let's have these guys push through. Route it and retreat it. Good stuff. So now we can take these mechanized units, right, and we're going to get in behind them. Yeah, I think I'm even going to go so far as to just go to the city here, capture the depot. Good stuff. And then this rifle corps we'll bring up to try to maintain contact with our forward forces. This stack of units. Yeah, so some of these I can't bring up. Let's bring them up here. Same with you. This rifle division can come south. Let's now have you push through. Good stuff. And then we'll have this rifle division. Oh, yep, so that's not quite what I wanted. Motorized unit will get up there real quick. Let's take this rifle division and see if we have a support element that can help a little bit. Don't know if I want to put the 33rd Guards Heavy Tank Regiment with them. We will though. So now we're at least up to 2, which means they don't have even 2 to 1. So a counterattack was To begin with, a little unlikely, but now I think it's just a little more reassured. These guys can move forward. Just gonna have this stack attack. Oh, remaining mountain division was committed, so they held. It's not so great. Let's take you forward here. Okay. I'm gonna take both of you to push through. There we go. Good stuff. These guys can come forward. Push through again. This time they retreated. This infantry unit moves up, as does this armor. Bring up the artillery. See if we can break through here. We did. So again, just they're now in a continuous retreat mode here with a lot of these units, which is good to see. I'm gonna bring that artillery over here. Well, yeah, we'll do all the army stuff, I think, at the end. Here we've got a tank corps. Let's see if they're good to go. They should be. Medium tank, 89%. So they're almost full. I'm gonna say that's good enough because we could really use you on the front lines right now. I'm actually going to take you up here, I think. So let's actually try to push through. Nope, never mind. Not going to do that. Okay. Yeah, so that was a bit of a breakout, right? Now they've got another difficult decision of how they're going to stop us as we continue marching towards Kharkov, right? Over here, probably going to leave this unit as is. I think we'll move these guys up. Take both of them and try to break through where they're strong here. They retreated. I'm going to take this stack and attack again. Overwhelming odds. They retreated. Continue the march. Routed them. Good stuff. Let's take these guys up here. When combined with this stack, we should be able to break through. Remaining armor division was committed. Still, we were able to win. Good news. This Naval Rifle Brigade, we're going to move forward. And let's take these two rifle divisions forward to help defend the Hex. They have the first remaining armored division. I'm not expecting to be counterattacks again. They have to look at building a. Their first priority is to try to contain this right now, and they're not successful thus far. I'm actually going to take a bit of a switch here, and I'm going to move further south because I want to try to see to what extent I can start pivoting down and around Stalinos. That might dictate some of the decisions I make up here. So this stack of units we're going to move forward, right? So we're now into that hex. These guys we're going to take down, come in north of Stalino. And we have plenty for defensive value there now. I think this stack we will move forward here. You can come down. We're going to have you attack. Alright, so we were successful there, and we captured a depot. Let's now get some rifle divisions up here. This is going honestly so well. We'll push these guys back quite easily. They rout it. Fully expected that. Thinking we want to take these two units and try to break through here. So that's 31 to 9. I think we will. Oh, it's just 23. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe I'd take one of you and bring you back. which is the weakest of all of you, the 38th Rifle. One that does not have enough movement to get back. So let's do the 293rd. Have you retreat, and we're going to bring up this Rifle Division. Yeah, it's just a little bit better of a situation. Let's also look to see what support units are possible. Not much from the 58th Army. Here we already have an anti-tank regiment. How is that unit doing? Okay, so they're actually okay. Go back to the 15th Guards Rifle Division. What can we assign here? We're going to assign this separate tank regiment. Try to help a little bit. We're up to 12. Okay. Back here, I'm gonna bring up this artillery division, set them on reserve. I'm also going to, well, let's hold on that decision. Let's keep going north here. I think we need to kind of hold parts of this line because of the Totenkopfestes Panzergrenadier Division. Yeah, I think we have to. So just to make sure they don't break through, I'm going to put this guy here to kind of defend the line. Should be more than enough if they do start moving about, though. This stack will move forward. We're not going to have enough to break through because the 20th Panzer is pretty significant there. But this stack of, yeah, they're already pretty exhausted. Okay. So yeah, we continue coming in now north of Stalino. In the center, we're just going to be holding a defensive line for a little bit here. And I think, yeah, I'm going to take this Rifle Brigade up here. I'm going to set them on reserve, hoping that they'd be able to help with any type of counterattack. It's really the 3rd Panzer is the concern there. Now back here, I feel like I want to get like the 248th Rifle off the front line because they're only at 5,600 men compared to, say, I don't know, roughly 10,000, right, is a normal number for a rifle division. So we're going to take them off the front. They're on refit. They're on reserve. You're actually in a better spot. So we're going to have you come up instead. Okay. Back here, you're on refit, but you're fine now. Where do I want you to go? I think I want you to go south, but I'm not sure where yet. Let's see. Probably right in here to help with this defense. Yeah, wow. It's the 25th Rifle Division. We're going to pull back. Okay. Have the 4th Guards come up. And then let's take a look. Jeez, we need to get rid of the 2nd Guards too. Let's bring them back. And then the 75th Rifle Division can come up. Let's see what we've got for support units available. I don't think there's as much armor in the south, but maybe a Tank Brigade would still be helpful. And KVD unit already has a support unit. 4th Guards here. Let's do the 140th Tank Brigade. Good stuff. Down here we just have a 4 defensive value. Yes, it's getting a little tough, and here's a 3. So I think what we gotta do is set you to reserve. Both of these units are going to be in reserve. And we just need to try to hold the line from a southern perspective. We'll move this guy up here. Set you to reserve. You should be on refit on the HQ. There we go. Down in the south here, now we're actually going to pull back. Say this unit here. Okay. So they've actually amassed quite a bit here. Really kind of one of the intents is just how can we continue to put pressure on their lines south. Just going to build a bit of a advance here that they have to try to counter. They might, if they're getting really aggressive, they might try to cut us off. I'm not sure they will. Even if they do, perhaps we can even connect from the south here with these units. Let's hop over here to the Crimea actually, because this is the exciting stuff of, okay, can we get to Odessa? How soon can we get to Odessa? Now, unfortunately, these tank corps have found themselves very low supply, but they can get down there. So let's have him come here. And he actually captured a depot, which is really good news. And I want to find out what's here. It's some type of infantry unit. Right, but we are doing a bit of a blitz south to try to, as quickly as possible, take this area. These airborne brigades now can start moving up here. Actually, these motorized units, I think I will particularly move up. So, like, I'll have you come up to the city here. And then I think I will have that rifle corps come forward and have them try to break through this unit so they rout it. And then let's do the same thing here. They retreat it. Okay, so that's going to be putting a lot of pressure on them now. I'm going to keep holding a line here, though, right? I think that makes sense. They have brought up the 6th Panzer Division, which is a little concerning, because that can break through most areas of our line. So what we're going to have to do is start digging in here, probably with some of these airborne units. Which isn't the worst thing, but I would have preferred to use them to continue on towards Odessa. I think I'm going to take them and actually attack here. Ooh, the SS Latvian Motorized Brigade was committed to the defense. That's not good. Okay. This Rifle Division will move up. Let's see here. Take you forward. Rifle Brigade can come help out there. Another Rifle Brigade. I can march up here. Motorized unit can come in here perhaps to help defend. Okay. That's something. I was going to have these airborne units help protect this side, but now I think I have to move them over because of the 6 Panzer coming up there. So we're going to have them come over. Go there. Alright, this HQ unit's going to come there. I'll get to the rail repair in a moment. Okay. I think I'm going to have I'm going to have them come down I need to keep pushing towards Odessa. That has to be a priority. Over here, this rifle unit, I don't know if it's... We're going to keep them on Sevastopol just a little longer, I guess. Yeah, let's see. Let's take this rifle division and just move them up here. Try to put some pressure on them. And I want them to look this way, not this way. It's kind of the gist of it. I'll have that airborne go there too. We've got the 10th Motorized Division is also up here, and they're looking pretty dangerous. They have brought a lot down here to try to stop us. So it is going to be close if we're able to take Odessa in time or not. I worry that although these tank corps may be getting to Odessa, they may not all the same army, I'm pretty sure, yeah, all 37th Army. They may not be able to... Is it because they're out of range, actually? Is that why? 37th Army. What if I move you over here? Does that change it? Okay. I worry that they'll run out of supply before they're able to actually assault the city, which is just a freaking shame when you think about it. But we'll see what we can do. Rail repair, as I mentioned, the focus is to now continue a little bit north, and then I'm going to double back down to get to Sevastopol. And I had another horrible error there, where I did not repair the hex when I moved there. Just awful mistake on my part. Okay, now when we look at it, all of these will be repaired in the next turn. Which starts to get us pretty close. I think I will go all the way here to the 2 ports and then come back. Maybe touch that port too. Not entirely sure yet. Yeah, not an easy question to answer there. Let's do the other rail repair units. So we're going to do Control 9 to highlight them to make sure I don't miss one again. Okay, so there you are. How do I have one back here that's not repaired? But it looks like these guys are already on that. Wonder if maybe you should be redeployed to the Crimea here. How far can you make it in this one turn? Wait a minute, you're not connected to the network? That can't be right. What hex are you on? It's not on a rail hex. It doesn't seem logical, but okay, we're gonna go with it. So let's go here. And if you get on a train, how far can you get? You can get pretty far. Yeah, I might have him come all the way over to here. I'm thinking about that. Yeah, I'm going to do it because supply to the Crimea is so critical right now. Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. So let's continue looking here for our other rail repair units. We had a lot happen in here in the previous episode, didn't we? Okay, so here are the other rail repair units. And it looks like I have exhausted both of them. So we've already used those. Was there a 4th? Oh, that does equal 4. I don't think we ever had 5. So that probably does it with all the rail repair units. We've done all the ground movement phases now of the southern front of our theater. Had been hoping to get to Odessa to maybe break through, but it just doesn't look like that's going to happen. And unfortunately, too, defending Odessa itself, these guys are going to have just great defensive value that even 3 tank corps won't be able to overcome. Ultimately, I think I'm going to need to get this rifle corps. Going to need to get that rifle corps south to Odessa. The problem is now it's already at 69 fatigue, and I'd be leaving this flank a little open here. So it's a tough situation. So I think that's a good transition topic for what do we want to do with reinforcements this next turn from the reserves and such. And I think I want to bring them into the Crimea again. I want to see how close I can get them to the front here. So let's do... I'd have to do them here again, so we're going to set that as the reserve theater box arrival hex. Now let's take a look at what we have in reserve that we can bring in. So, got this mechanized corps. I think that's an obvious win, so we're going to toss them to the map. We have these mechanized brigades. I think I'm going to bring them in as well, if for no other reason than I'm hoping they can be breakout units to get in behind their lines and cause some disruption of their logistics and supplies to Odessa, is my hope. These airborne units, yeah, 2 airborne brigades will bring you into, I guess. They can help reinforce the defense of the line across the Crimea, I suppose. This motorized brigade must have missed you. You can come in too. For armor units, yeah, we've got tank brigades and such. I don't know. Yeah, let's put some of you in. But for a lot of you, yeah, for the heavy guards tank regiments, I think it does make sense to bring some of you in. Especially as we keep seeing more and more Tigers in the German panzer divisions. I think it makes sense. SP guns, yeah, still have the same production issues. So I think that covers everything there in the reserves. Let's now take a look to the far east, and you see here we're still at 105%. Given how the war's going, I think I might actually transfer some units here from the far east to our theater box. So I think I'm going to do 2 rifle divisions we're going to bring to the map. There we go. Let's look at the Trend Caucasus region. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to take one of these to the map. Oh, yep. And then in the northern front, we'll do the same thing. I'm going to do 2 here. I feel like in all the theater boxes we've been doing a really good job. The Axis has not been putting much attention to them, and they've suffered some defeats as a result in the theater boxes. I think, if I remember correctly, the Italian campaign just kicked off a turn or 2 ago, so I think we're winning the war in that perspective. The key now is how quickly can I get supply to these units? Can I make sure I have a fortified defense? And will the German units have enough to both hold in our front line here, but also sweep around and try to protect Odessa? You know, the absolute worst case that happens here is that they do build a bit of defensive line around Odessa. Maybe they even push back these tank corps. Okay, that's actually not that bad, because it still means we didn't have to go from Stalino to Odessa. We had a bit of a shortcut here, right? So I'm really encouraged by that. Again, I'm hopeful of, if we can connect these land units, We're not going to be able to establish that rail line probably for quite some time still. But once we do, that's really going to help the supply situation coming into the Crimea, which is going to be of great benefit to us. Now, with all of that said, let's take a look at our HQ units, where they are and where we have our depots, right? So I'm going to turn on this command efficiency highlight to try to understand where we have some opportunities in terms of our frontline units and where they are compared to their headquarter units. Actually, I think I want the command quality one. Yeah, let's do that. So, see right off the bat, you see this unit is in red because it's currently isolated here from its HQ unit. These are in orange. They are within range, but they're still suffering a little bit. The other thing that I want to bring up is depots, to find out where we have depots. And then we're going to take a look at where are we getting the supplies from. So I think I'm going to take... it's a bit of a dilemma here now. This 37th Army. I think I might actually take them up here to this depot. Back here, these guys are all getting supplied from this port, which maybe should have indicated my decision of which rail line to repair first. That might end up costing me a little here. But everything is within range. This unit I'll move over just one, I think. And even these units are actually going all the way back here to this port to get in a lot of their supply. So I think it would have been more important to have built the rail lines out this way, but we live and we learn from this, right? Okay. Let's continue this little examination we have all the way up here. You see we've got this depot, and we look at 65th Army, everything's in range. 28th Army, not quite. 28th Army's pretty spread out. Don't think I'm going to be able to get... well, there we go. Yeah, so now I have everyone within range. I'm not sitting on the depot or anything like that, but at least I have everything within my command range. These guys are getting it from a mixture, but it looks like a lot of it is from this depot here. So I think what I'll actually do is bring back the HQ to the depot. Here it's a crisscross of everything, so we're gonna... nope, can't do that, I guess. We can, but we won't. Let's just gonna put them back up to there. Here, these guys again. Supplies are kind of coming from all over the place. We get out of range if we move there, so we won't do that. We're here. Whoa, where are you guys? These are really all being supplied from up here. Is that because of the location of the Stalingrad front? I don't think so. Yeah, Stalingrad front's over there. Okay, that obviously is going to start to have an impact on the supply situation. I think you're good. As our... well, no, we're going to bring you up here to this depot. That makes sense. This Guards Army, same exact story. Desperately need to get you forward. There we go. This HQ unit for the 40th Army is just... they're kind of all over the place, but everything is in range. That's the 2nd Air Army. Don't care so much about where that is. This HQ unit can come up to the depot. That makes a lot of sense. Down here, you're actually more this direction. So I wonder... oh, this is the Voronezh front. Sorry, I was misreading that here. The Voronezh front, let's have them sit on this depot, I think. Yeah. We have some units here, like the 7th Guards Cavalry Corps that is on the Voronezh front, and I don't necessarily want that. So we're going to have them join the 60th Army. Were there other units that were part of the Voronezh front? It looks like it. Okay. Yeah, let's see if we can get you guys into an army instead. So you can join the 40th Army. You can join the 40th Army. And 1st Guard Tank Corps. You can join the 60th Army. Same here for you, 60th. No, didn't want you in the 60th Army. Shoot. 60th Army's a little over now. Gonna have to revisit that. You are good. Makes a ton of sense for you just to move there. And 61st Army. I think I might have you stay there even though you're out of range, just because so much is getting supplied from right here. This 13th Army is a bit of a mixture, it looks like. Let's see if we move you. So it's either lose you or lose you. Let's see here. If we were to take the 6th Guard Cavalry Corps, do something other than the 13th Army, is there room for you anywhere? The 11th Guards Army looks like it has room for you. Let's put you in the 11th Guards Army. There we go. And now your HQ is here. You are within range. Most of these guys are getting their supply from this depot. I think I'll move him there. I'm going to do the exact same with you. Okay. Going over here. Let's see. Let's move you here. And let's take a look to see. The 44th Guard Rifle Corps can go to a different army. They can go to the 49th Army. Seems like that'd be appropriate. There's the 49th Army. And this is all going to be a bit of a cluster for a while until we get depots established down here, rail lines, all of that stuff. So yeah, you're going to have to hold tight, bud. Just not quite ready yet. Wondering if I move you in it. No, we're going to leave you there. Yeah, some of these are going to be a little chaotic right now. Guess I can maybe move you further south. Maybe not. So let's see. This 1st Guard Cavalry Corps, if I can assign them to a different army. 29th Army does not appear to be any closer, so you might have to stay. 3rd Guards Tank Army. Let's see if we move you down here. That seems to work just fine. And the 41st Army actually needs to head a little bit in this direction. Just fine. There we go. 22nd Army makes sense there. Actually, 22nd Army, I'm going to send you to Smolensk, I think. Nope. I'm not. Because then you're out of range of all of that. There we go. Keep going through here. Yeah, I've moved all of you. Just wanted to check. Culloden front's fine where it's at. I actually think I already did some of this with these units here. Move you up. Yeah, this is all. It's a hot mess considering how fluid the front line is right now. Yeah, you're good. Now down here, I'm actually going to have you go up to this depot, I think. You are way away from where you need to be, probably. Let's have you come south. Same thing with the 10th Guards. Actually, can you sit on the depot? You can. So you're going to sit on the depot. That rifle division's on refit, so we can move you up to the depot to help now with that refit. That's good. That's good. This HQ unit can come forward a little bit, I guess. That's fine. You're good. All of these guys probably haven't changed since the last time we reviewed all this stuff. Okay. Well, we can take off all those lines and depot indicators now. And then let's take a look too at building of new units. I actually need to do that. So we still don't have the new 1943 rifle divisions, which then as a consequence means we really can't expand out how many rifle corps we have, because we're over our 42C rifle division limit, which means we can't build new rifle corps. So I think what we're going to do is build a couple of rifle brigades. By a couple, I mean we're going to build like 10. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. Rifle brigades can still be pretty useful. Hoping I can then just use them to help build up to rifle corps too in various parts along the line. And then I'm also going to take a look here. We can't do any tank corps, but I'm going to do more tank brigades, I think. We're going to do 5. We're going to build 5 tank brigades. We already expanded the number of American Lend-Lease tank brigades that we have. I might do that by another 5, though, again. Because it'd been a couple turns since we had done that. So that takes care of building of new units. Let's also take a look at the commander's report, and let's see if maybe there's any leaders that we want to replace. Let's take a look at leaders here. We're only going to do ground. And we're just going to do a corps or army command. Actually, I take that back. Let's maybe look at the commanders that we have on our fronts. Do we maybe need to replace a commander on the front? So let's just see, like if we sort this by infantry, 4 seems really low, especially when the mechanized is only 3. Initiative is only 3. Well, this is the Siberia front, sorry. Okay, so that's probably why. Yeah. Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing fronts here. Maybe I'm not. So then the next opportunity would probably be the Voronezh front, where it's 5-4, or maybe, actually it's this guy, the Transcaucasus fronts. Ivan Tilenev. Let's take a look at you. Dismissal cost 20. Ooh, crap, that's high. Let's see what we could get from you, though. So currently we have 6546, and the next person in terms of ability that is free would be actually this marshal here. The problem is that his mechanized and infantry is 2 and 4, so that sucks. But those staff points really are pretty important. Well, let's take a look at this, though. Moscow Defense Zone. I don't know that I care about who we have in the Moscow Defense Zone right now. I don't know that I should have cared at any of the previous turns, but I'm just now looking at this. Let's do... yeah, let's do Vasily here. Alright, so he is now in charge of the Transcaucasus front. Good stuff. AI managed depots. which means we need to let our administrative points recover in the next couple turns a little here. And we're going to hit end turn. Let's skip past some of this air resupply we've got going on. And then we're going to get to the access logistics turn, then we'll get to their air turn. It's been an interesting turn 28, to be honest with you guys. We were really aggressive on the front lines. It's been really fluid. I'm expecting that when we get to the end of turn summary, we're going to see some really high numbers for units that are under strength, units that are in low supply, especially when you look at conditions around the units we have pushing in the Crimea, as well as the units that we have just south and just north of Stalino as we really get aggressive on trying to encircle the city. I think it's really going to demonstrate that we have a lot of units there that are under strength or understaffed at the moment. And it's something where you are probably going to keep hearing me say, maybe this turn will be a little bit more passive. Maybe this turn we won't try to take control of 40 hexes along the front line. But every time I've said that, we end up having these huge breakouts that are successful, and we just keep going. And I don't think it's a bad thing that we do. I mean, just even looking at the shade of the map here, look at this huge pocket that we're starting to threaten an encirclement on. That's very dangerous for the Axis player to try to deal with. It comes at a cost, though, of supply to units, as well as a cost to the strength of units, as we don't necessarily give them enough time to reinforce, refit, and also, less consequently, to the statistics of the game, but to build up combat preparation points, which in turn, the higher the combat preparation, the more successful you may be in an attack, which means in each attack you may lose fewer men or fewer resources. So it's this big domino effect when you don't give yourself enough time to rest some of your troops. So I'm going to keep mulling that over. Maybe I'll build up the discipline in one of these episodes to actually restrain myself from a continuous warpath going forward. We're now getting into the Germans' turn. They're doing some air resupply here to their isolated unit, which kind of makes sense, I guess. We'll be curious to see what they do in their turn, as we've given them a lot to think about. So you see they're starting to move a lot of their units. This pocket here, they're trying to crush right where we had this breakout. We actually managed to hold against the first attack. We'll see if there are follow-ups. Okay, so they were successful in pushing us back there. So now we just have this one line that is connecting us back to our units. So that's a dangerous position we find ourselves in. But we still, as of this moment in time, hold that. Sitting here with clenched teeth. Are we going to be able to maintain this pocket? Oh wow, they've really brought up a lot here. 20 offensive combat value. They did not like us doing that. Okay, so they're pushing us back here a little south of Stalino, which makes sense. We got pretty aggressive with how far we were going. I'm not terribly surprised by that. You can see too, from their fog of war perspective, what they can see. It's a little bit of an interesting picture where they have really poor visibility to where we are. And looks like they're just about done with the turn. Interesting. So I don't think they were able to close off that pocket of ours. As usual, though, I'll leave you guys with a cliffhanger, and I won't look at it when the turn ends. We'll just go through the end of turn summary and new events to cover. So, should be good. Skip past some of these resupplies. Well, I inadvertently here I'm showing you the map where you can see they did cut off our pocket, so that's a little unfortunate. So now we have to plan a bit of a rescue here in our next episode. So something to look forward to, right? How do we rescue those units that are now cut off? I'm hopeful, though, that the distraction they have caused will allow us to break through in other areas now next turn as well, though. So we'll see how that goes. we were a little, I don't want to say careless, but we were pretty aggressive around Stalino. If you recall, I think it was 2 turns ago now, where we actually did lose a couple of units to encirclement. And I don't know that it was the first time in this series that that's happened, but certainly it's been a while since we've seen that. Alright, almost done with our logistics phase of the turn. And then we'll be able to call the episode to a close here shortly. Oh boy. 75 up to 79 and then back down to 75. Let's do it. Let's do it. 75 again. Nice. It is very consistent. Doing a quick save. Alright. So, end of turn. We suffered 50,000 men lost. That is shockingly low considering all the territory that we took. Lost 840 gun platforms, 300 armored fighting vehicles, and 120 airframes. On the map, our order of battle changes. We had a net loss of 43,000, which is a little interesting to see, actually. Net loss of 730 guns, net gain of 215 armored fighting vehicles, and 186 airframes. The Axis player saw a slight uptick in number of men on the map in total, flat on guns, positive 128 in armor, and they lost 167 airframe net total. For combat alerts, we have 66 units on low supply. It's actually lower than I was kind of expecting it to be. The real number, though, this is the real number that's going to be hurting us here if we don't get this under control soon, is we have 121 units that are under strength, and we have 32 units that are unready. That's a pretty shocking number, honestly. And then 6 isolated probably represent that pocket that gets surrounded. When we look at new events, Mighty 8th continues the air raids. The Axis continue to not put enough units in the Italy theater box, so they had a shortage. They lose a victory point and an AP. Italian campaign movement, or campaign events, continue to move forward. And Soviet partisans continue their work. So it's going to be interesting to see how the pressure continues to build on the Axis player because of the Italian campaign. And their reluctance to devote resources towards that. So I'll be curious to see how that plays out. Alright guys, as always, thank you so much for giving the episode a watch and your continued support of the series and this fantastic game. It's been so much fun going through this. It's been some really exciting turns lately too. And as always, please, any comments, questions, or feedback you have, drop in the comment section below and I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. And with that, strategy gamers, hoping you have yourselves an excellent day. Bye now.